Every vacation starts with an idea, but what happens between that idea and reality is what makes all the difference. Welcome to Beyond the Booking. I'm Christine Earls, a concierge travel advisor based in New York. On this podcast, we'll be diving into real trips, real stories from real travelers. Because planning a trip should feel exciting, not overwhelming. So let's get started. Today I'm joined by a very special guest, Mr. Asaf Bochman, the creative mind behind Boch Creative. And yes, if you're watching this, you'll probably notice his signature red chef hat, which is very on brand for him. Asaf, thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, Christine. I am honored to be your first guest and honored to be part of the show and really looking forward to the conversation.
Well, I would like to put my hat on if that's okay with you.
I'd be honored.
Today, I am going to be a captain. Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, when we first met, you were planning your own vacations and really enjoying the process. But, so I have to ask, what made you decide to explore a different approach this time?
Well, I was planning a cruise for my wife's 40th birthday, which was a big occasion for us. And the important thing to me was that it was a very seamless vacation. In a few of the past trips we've taken overseas and in the Caribbean, there were a lot of mistakes here and there that, were just careless mistakes that happen because I'm not really an expert at vacation planning. It's just something that, just ended up being my job. So I remember that having met you at a previous HIA event and speaking to you and seeing your content online. And I remember that, you pretty much handle vacations entirely. So I thought, why not give it a shot and let's see what can happen.
I appreciate you letting me do that. It was really fun. It was fun working with you and your family.
Thank you.
It was really fun. And to realize that the community in life, general, that one of your relatives worked with me at my prior employment. So that was great.
Yeah, that was a very funny moment.
It was small world. So at what point did it stop feeling fun? And putting together a vacation and started to feel a little overwhelming or time consuming?
Well, to be honest, once I started seeing all the different options, because I had never planned for a vacation at that time of the year before, there were a lot of options. And it was about 8 years since I planned my first cruise. And so a bunch of things have changed. I had a lot more on my plate, right? Last vacations that I was planning, I wasn't running my own business. I had a lot more time on my hands. So there was more time to do research and things like that. At this time, it felt a little bit more crunch. And so I wanted an expert to come in and just relieve me of the risk of ruining the vacation because I only got one chance with the 40th birthday.
Yeah, you can't do that again.
No.
Okay, so what did planning your trips usually look like before this one?
There was a lot of Googling, of course. There's a lot of asking family members, what they thought and what they've been on and just kind of trying to go off of trusted testimonials or reviews from people. But that only goes so far and you can only experience so much and explore so much with that. And then, I hear of all these other options that people have and these different trips people have gone on, and you kind of start to get a little jealous and you want to know like, oh, well, I really would love to go there or experience that, but I wouldn't know where to begin and I wouldn't know how to get it right. And, risking a different type of vacation on, again, the 40th birthday was really risky. So, I was a little cautious.
Right. So it's not just about getting it right. It's just about experiencing it. So you want to experience it to the utmost that you can. You don't want to be situated in the back of the boat if you're nauseous, or, you want to be more midship. You don't want to have like the nightclub below you. So I kind of try to place you where there's cabins on top and cabins below and far away from the elevators so that you didn't have elevator traffic. Because I know that
great.
sometimes you want to go to sleep, but you don't want to hear the kids screaming down the hallways.
Oh, absolutely. I thought our placement was great. It was on a great level where we didn't have to sit in the elevator for so long, because I know the further higher up you are, the longer you have to wait for elevators. There's little things like that which you definitely helped out with.
I
It
like
was
to
great.
I like to burn the calories off by putting you midship, like and halfway down, so that you have to walk all the way to the top on the steps, and
Yeah.
then burn some calories up, and then burn some calories down, because it's always easier going down than up.
Well, on cruising days, I was able to get in 6 meals a day, so I needed all those calories burned, as many as I could take.
And don't forget about the ice cream bar.
Yeah, I
The
didn't
ice
even
cream
count
bar.
that.
So I know this trip started out as a milestone for you and your wife, but it turned into a full family celebration. Can you walk us through how that came about?
Yes, so my wife's cousin and his family and I and my family were all really close, same amount of people, roughly same ages. And I was, talking about the idea of going on a cruise during that time of the year. November, it was great year, great time of the year to leave New York because it's so cold. And they had mentioned that, it's something that they were thinking about as well. And we kind of didn't really progress beyond that. Once I started engaging with you on planning the cruise and realized how easy it is, I had mentioned that to my wife's cousin, and she basically said, "Yep, we're thinking of joining too." I gave you a number, and you made things so easy for both of us. There was very little cross coordination we had to do, and we ended up being in rooms right next to each other on the ship.
Even if you
which
didn't want
was,
to.
we really did. It helped out so much because our kids really get along very well. So they were able to spend time with each other and help each other get back and things like that. It was really great.
Were they able to take out the balcony separation so you can go back and forth?
Our room didn't have a balcony, but
Okay.
that was okay. We didn't really want a balcony.
Okay.
Theirs did.
Okay.
But
You spent time on their balcony.
I did. I just spent time on their balcony. But my wife's cousin, he got seasick, so he did not
Oops.
spend any time on the balcony. But it got its use. That's okay. He still had a great time.
That's great. I remember, if I remember correctly, I think it was their anniversary as well. They celebrated their anniversary. You don't recall? That's fine. That's fine. Okay.
I think it was a couple months before that.
Okay. I guess they wanted to use it just to celebrate everything
Yeah.
all at one time.
Yeah.
It's
Sometimes
easy.
we do that. This is your birthday gift for next year or something like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Make it Christmas gift, a cruise, a Christmas
Right.
gift. Once we started working together, what felt different about the planning process?
I had to do nothing, and it was so great. And I honestly didn't have to worry about anything.
No more 21 tabs open.
Zero.
Searching.
I didn't have to, bookmark any pages for, watching prices of tickets or watching plane ticket prices or watching different cruise prices because they change all the time. Not having to worry about any of that or think about any of that just allowed us to start thinking about what we're going to do when we're on vacation
Right.
and what kind of things we went to Puerto Rico. So it was all of our first time in Puerto Rico, all 8 of us. And so we ended up finding a really great driver to drive us around, give us a tour, and he ended up walking us to this restaurant, which was a hole in the wall,
Yes.
but they had a private room in the back, and the 8 of us sat and had a lunch there, completely alone and undisturbed, no other tourists, no other townies or anyone in the middle of Puerto Rico, and having an amazing meal. It was incredible.
They have amazing margaritas there.
Yes, we had some margaritas.
Okay, so When you actually were on the cruise, what were some of your favorite moments?
I would say my favorite moment each night was sitting on top of, I think it was deck 11 or deck 12, right by one of the bars.
Okay.
And it was like cigar smoking time because it was
Okay.
towards the end of the night. Having nice whiskey. My wife was there, and the kids were gone, and her cousin and her husband were on their own, hanging out in their own time, and it was like alone time. Even though we're on a trip with 8 people, we were able to have those moments each night together, and it was absolutely glorious.
And look at the stars
Beautiful.
because there's no light traffic.
Right. Right.
It's beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. Great moment.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, but you may have already answered it. What made this trip feel different from others you've taken?
I would say the most unique thing about the entire trip was that we could really focus on the experience instead of focusing on the logistics.
Okay.
And not focusing on the logistics for once really allowed us to be present during each experience. We didn't have to worry about any part of it. You know, the whole thing was really just completely done for us. And like I said, we were able to plan certain excursions. We were able to plan certain times without any arguments. And it was really easy. It was just really easy.
Sometimes those little things make a world of difference.
Big time.
You know, because when you sit down and you plan a vacation, you have to think of every little nuances and every little piece of it. It's like a 1,000-piece puzzle, and to make sure every piece goes in the right way.
Right. Right.
You know?
And it's tiring. And to do that with 8 people, it's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
8 people is a lot of people, and everybody has their own idea on what they think the cruise should be.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and
Especially teenagers and young 20s
Yes.
and 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds. You're talking about 3 different generations.
yes, and it's nice that the cruise line, you went on Royal Caribbean, that they had different, platforms and different, kids clubs and different ideas for the kids to do. Some of them have what's it called, laser tag.
Yep.
And they have bumper cars and little golf and just the slides. It actually takes the kids away from the parents so the parents can enjoy more.
We only saw our kids twice a day. Lunch and dinner.
Yes,
That's it.
yes.
Other than that, we were totally cool with, my youngest son and their youngest are the same age, a couple months apart. They hung out with each other the whole time.
Yeah.
And then our oldest are the same age. They hung out with each other the whole time. And, the 4 of us basically spent the week together hanging out on this boat. And once in a while would see our kids. We would make fun of our kids and tell stories about our kids. It was great.
Oh, so now, what would you say to someone who's planning a trip like this right now? Or what would you say to someone who's on the fence about using a travel advisor?
If you're on the fence about using a travel advisor, I can understand because you would probably think you have to pay them extra, and you're wrong. You don't have to pay them extra, and you get a whole lot of extra experience, insights, inside information, and just access to hidden, like,
Onboard credit if you go on a
everything.
cruise. Yeah.
I mean, there's it's the same reason why you hire an expert to take care of your plumbing, because you don't want to screw it up. You might not think of a vacation as screwing it up, but when you have a vacation and it's bad and you have bad experiences, those bad experiences last a long time too, not
Yes.
just good experiences.
No.
So I would say that using a travel agent minimizes, if not eliminates, the bad experiences.
I think the bad experience lasts longer than the good experiences because people like to refer to bad things because people feed on bad
Right,
more than they feed on good.
right.
So.
And you really helped eliminate any bad aspect. I mean, we went on vacation with family, 8 of us, and never had an argument or debate or disagreement on anything. It was just so easy.
I wanted to say thank you for coming here and being my first victim. And I really, truly appreciate you, and I appreciate your family, and it was great to work with you.
It was our pleasure, really, and can't wait till the next one.
Thank you. If you enjoyed this episode of Beyond the Booking, stay tuned for the next one. And ciao for now.
Bye.